Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Matterhorn Matt presents Matterhorn Mondays.
We were muted during that. I was talking to you guys, but you guys couldn't hear me. Anyways, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining us. This is episode 65 of Matterhorn Mondays, and I'm your host, Matterhorn Matt.
And I'm Alex the Historian.
And we got a great stream for you guys. Before we get started, I want to make a few announcements. You guys who have been watching the stream or watching the show or listening to the show, because the show is on Spotify and iTunes and SoundCloud as well if you guys use SoundCloud. But anyways, we have a few announcements to make. With one, I don't know if we announced this other one last week. We might have. But first announcement, depending on when you're listening to this, currently, in 2 days from the Saturday, which is when we're recording, the meetup is Saturday, or is not Saturday. What am I trying to say? The meetup is December 3rd. For those of you guys who somehow missed the meetup date, at 2 p.m. in the lobby of the Grand Californian Hotel. Again, depending on when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on Monday when the show comes out, the meetup is today. But if you're listening to it on Tuesday, the day after the meetup, I'm sorry, you have missed the meetup if you didn't go. But on the same note, we'll meet up on December 3rd at 2 p.m. in the lobby of the Grand Californian Hotel. That's not 2 p.m. Mountain Time. It's 2 p.m. local time to Disneyland. I don't know what it's not Pacific. It's one of those time zones.
Pacific.
It's Pacific. Oh, wow. I almost got it right. So, 2 p.m. Pacific time over there in Disneyland. Really excited to see everybody who comes out. We're going to be hanging out in the lobby for a little bit. And then for those people who have access to the parks, we're going to be going inside the parks, get on a few rides, the whole thing, the whole shebang. And on the same note, I will be in Disneyland December 3rd through the 7th, so if you guys don't have a chance to make it to the meetup, you guys can wander into the parks one of those days. You'll probably see me. Maybe even Alex might be there one of those days as well. And our last announcement. I'm not sure if we announced this last week. I think we did, but we will be having a live podcast from inside the parks with our good friend Chris from LMG Vids. That's Chris with a K, LMG Vids. On this Friday the 7th. We're not sure what the time it's going to be at is yet. I'm guessing 5 p.m. Mountain Time, like normal, which is not 5 p.m. Pacific Time. It's 5 p.m. Mountain Time. I'll do the conversions later. I'll make an announcement on the Discord and on the Twitter. I never announce my Twitter a lot, but I feel like this week, if you guys don't follow my Twitter, or if you're not on the Discord, you guys should definitely do that, because there's going to be a lot of updates regarding the meetup, if anything happens before the meetup, if it has to get rescheduled or anything, which we don't plan on anything happening, but just in case. Same thing with the podcast. If anything happens with that, you guys can follow my Twitter. The Twitter handle is Matterhorn Matt, and link is in the description as always, and link is also in the description for the Discord server, because I'll be making announcements. I'll be copying the announcements I make on Twitter and putting them on the Discord, just for the people who don't have Twitter. I can't make like a video. I guess I could make a video to announce something, but we'll see. Hopefully nothing will have to be rescheduled or anything. It is supposed to rain a few days next week, so that'll be cool. I'm bringing my good luck. I'm going to single-handedly put out all the wildfires in California with my New Mexico good luck rain. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for announcements today. Let's see, Disneyland Meetup live podcast. Yeah. If for some reason we can't find a good place, a place that looks nice, but if it doesn't have internet for the live stream on Friday. Then we'll just end up recording it. I'm gonna bring all of my cameras. We'll just record it like that because we're gonna be recording it using my cameras anyway. And the live part of the show is it's just gonna be my webcam. But once the official show comes out on the Monday, I'll have it all edited together with the different camera angles and all that stuff. So if we can't live stream the show, then the show will still come out on the Monday with the cameras, the different camera angles, all that stuff. So just be prepared for that. Like I said, I'll make announcements on the Twitter and the Discord. Very excited for that. First time either of us, Alex and I, probably Chris too, have done a live show from inside the parks. But anyways, let's get right into this week's news from the Peak.
We now present to you news from the Peak.
Let's see. Okay, we got some big, awesome news for you guys this week. I'm telling you, our first bit. I saw this at like 5 o'clock when I woke up one morning. Tom Hanks is supposed to play, well, he's circling, whatever circling means. Tom Hanks is thinking about playing Geppetto in the live-action Pinocchio movie that Disney's eventually going to make. Now, I want to know, Tom Hanks is an amazing actor. I just want to throw that out there. I'd be fine with him playing Geppetto. I think it's a good casting decision. Maybe, I don't know. I like him as an actor. I think he's a pretty cool dude as well. But I'd like to know what you guys think on not just Tom Hanks playing Geppetto in the live-action Pinocchio movie, but also your thoughts on the live-action Pinocchio movie in general. T-Will says Geppetto should be played by Drew Carey. I read that as Jim Carrey at first, and I was very confused. But yeah, very, very interesting sort of news. I guess Disney's, even if all the movies in 2019, the live-action movies, do terribly, they're probably still going to end up making, Pinocchio and The Little Mermaid, all those other ones that they haven't done yet, just because. But Alex, this is really interesting. What are your thoughts on Tom Hanks playing the role of Geppetto in the live-action Pinocchio movie?
Well, he is a very talented actor. I don't know. I suppose he could make a very good Geppetto. I just kind of always pictured a live-action Geppetto being kind of like I don't know, like an old grandpa man.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tom Hanks is really quite grandpa yet. Yeah. But yeah. I'm up for it. I think I would watch it.
Oh wow, you think you'd watch it if Tom Hanks? Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. I think Tom Hanks should play every character in the movie just like he did for the Polar Express. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think of Tom Hanks. This isn't 100% confirmed, by the way. It's just a rumor that he's thinking about playing Geppetto in the movie. But I'd like to know what you guys think on if he'd make a good Geppetto, or if he'd not make a good Geppetto, or who you'd like Geppetto to be played by in the live-action Pinocchio movie. And moving on to our second bit, news from the Peak. This is a continuation from the story we covered last week about Phantom Manor. It was last week. Yeah. Phantom Manor is set to reopen in April of 2019. I know we talked about last week how I was saying that maybe it'll never reopen. Maybe they broke something crucial to the ride system, which I was joking when I said that, of course. But yeah, Phantom Manor has been pushed back. The opening of Phantom Manor has been pushed back to April of 2019. This was confirmed by, let's see, I'm just going to quote, Phantom Manor, by the way, links to all the articles we're referring to will be in the description below. Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris is expected to finally reopen in April, according to information available on the park's website. So they're claiming that the information they got this from is straight from the source, straight from the Disneyland Paris website. I'm assuming it's the Disneyland Paris website, but yeah, for all you Phantom Manor fans, and all you Disneyland Paris fans. Now, April of 2019 is when you should definitely book your vacation to Disneyland Paris, because according to WDW News Today, Phantom Manor will be reopened. Let's see, in our final bit of news from the peak, it's been a slow week, you guys, but when it comes to news. New poster has been revealed for the much anticipated Toy Story 4. It's not a sequel. What is the word? Because I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna cut to the poster right now. There it is. Very amazing, awesome poster. Look at that, you guys. There's really not much to infer from the poster, I guess. You can see a little, I guess, like a rundown carnival in the bottom right corner. That might play an integral part in the story of Toy Story 4. But yeah, for those of you guys who missed it last week, Alex and I covered the recent trailers that were released for Toy Story 4, gave our thoughts on it, said whether or not we were excited for it, but Toy Story 4 is set to open June 21st of 2019, and Disney is releasing a heck of a lot of movies in 2019, you guys. It's kind of weird to see all the movies. We should do like a segment where we compile all of the future movies that Disney's making, not just Disney, but like Marvel, and I guess Fox would be appropriate as well now that the merger is going through. Yeah, maybe in a few episodes we'll do that and talk about all of them. But I have something before we get into the main topics. Let's see. I have something really interesting to. Okay. Control tab. Here we go. I have something very interesting to share with you guys. We missed covering this last week because I don't know why we missed covering it last week, but there is video footage of a pyrotechnic from Illumination shooting into the crowd at an Epcot, and I just like to show that to you guys real quick. There was also a story a couple weeks ago about, I think the door either broke off or was like left open, something along those lines, to one of the monorails in Walt Disney World. Again, I don't remember why we didn't cover that. I probably just forgot about it. But yeah, so it's kind of scary, I guess. Now it's sort of appropriate that they're phasing out Illuminations for the new one. I don't know. I guess it could still have the same problem. But yeah, I thought you guys would find that interesting. For those of you who haven't seen it, Mateo says the door actually broke off and fell between the rails. That's really interesting. Gosh, I remember also reading on, I think it was WDW News Today, that they were, what was it about? It was something along the lines of how Disney did not order new monorails for Walt Disney World, and how that they did order them was like a rumor, but I don't have the link for that on me. But another interesting little tidbit before we get into some of the main stuff. The Millennium Falcon construction has completed at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, you guys. Not the ride itself, but the Falcon model that is outside of the ride. Almost kind of a misleading title by the Orange County Register, of course, of all people. I just noticed. Oh my goodness, it's a 2-for-1. But yeah, as you can see in these couple of images, let's see who took the images. Some pilot aerial images shot in July. Well, these ones are not from July, but there were aerial images shot in July that showed a plot of dirt where the Millennium Falcon now stands, blah, 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 blah. They are now saying that the exterior of the full-sized Carillion YT 1300 light freighter is complete. I always find it very awkward to say the official name of the Millennium Falcon, the Carillion YT 1300 light freighter. That just sounds so gross for some reason. But yeah, so the exterior of the Falcon is now complete, and also these are also newer, I guess, images of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and you can see all the progress they've made so far on the land. It's so crazy to think that just a couple years ago, I was in Disneyland, and they hadn't even started construction on Galaxy's Edge, and the river was its normal size and length, and now just like 2 years later, this has happened since then. It's really crazy to think about. But yeah, small story. Moving on to one of our main topics. This kind of came out of the blue. Confirmed, or breaking, I guess, from WDW News Today. Breaking: Toy Story Hotel coming to Tokyo Disney Resort. This is next level, you guys. For all of you Toy Story fans out there, you guys are getting your own themed hotel. Quote, today the Oriental Land Company announced a new family-friendly, affordable Disney hotel will be coming to the Tokyo Disney Resort area in fiscal year 2021. Based on the extremely successful Toy Story franchise, the approximately 600-room hotel will give guests an opportunity to enjoy a toy-sized world. Guest rooms will resemble the ever-familiar bedroom of Andy, where Woody, Buzz, and their other pals live. Now, the rooms will be designed with furniture and features inspired by their world. So this is kind of interesting. If you guys are like hardcore Toy Story fans, this is where you guys are all going to be staying next time you go to Tokyo Disneyland. But Alex, what are your thoughts on the Toy Story Hotel coming to Tokyo Disney Resort?
It's probably going to feel cheap, but but hey, if you're a Toy Story fan, then it'll probably appeal to you. I'm a Toy Story fan. I just I don't know. I just don't want to have a bedroom that looks like everything is made out of like toy parts, like I don't want to have a big giant race car bed, or like I don't want like my lamp to be like a baseball bat that's turned upside down. Like I don't know, it just seems kind of cheap to me. But yeah, I think well, it's interesting because who said it here? Was it T. Wells said there's already a Toy Story hotel in Shanghai. So that's interesting. I didn't know they had a Toy Story hotel already. But yeah.
Well, it is in Tokyo, and I guess Tokyo's more known for like their higher quality stuff compared to like the American parks. So it should be, I don't know, it should be good. Let's see. Amenities available in the themed hotel will include a stand. Did I say that? Amenities. I think I did. Amenities available in the themed hotel will include standard type room amenities. I hope I'm saying that right. And a restaurant that will allow guests to enjoy an unforgettable experience at a reasonable price. So yeah, it will be on the cheaper side. Yeah, I think I said that earlier. Family-friendly, affordable Disney hotel. Let's see. They also provided a background story to the yet-to-be-named. Oh, background story. I haven't read this. Let's see. Quote, Andy, the little boy who loves his toys, Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and the rest, has embarked on the ultimate backyard project, a building to house all his toys. When Andy is called away by his mom, his toys and their helpers take over the toy tower and open it as a hotel for all the honorary toys of the world. What the heck? This sounds amazing. Toy tower? His toys and their helpers take over the toy tower. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna stay at this, you guys. If I ever go to Tokyo Disneyland, I'm definitely staying at this. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
toy
and then
tower.
you know what's gonna be really cool is if like all the toys wake you up in the middle of the night and tell you gotta leave because Andy's mom is coming. Yeah.
I mean, that would still probably make me stay at the hotel, even if I did have to leave at like 3 a.m. But yeah, this seems really cool. Yeah, I don't really know what the hotel, Toy Story hotel, is like in Shanghai. We'll have to look that up after the stream just to see. Maybe maybe they'll be the same. I don't know, but this one sounds really cool. I can't get over his toys and their helpers take over the toy tower and open it as a hotel for all the honorary toys of the world. It's like a safe sanctuary for like toys, you guys. This is amazing. But anyways, that's it for that. Before we move on, I would like to read the fun fact on my Snapple cap for today. This is real fact number 1425. Mosquitoes prefer to bite people with type O blood. Just so you guys know. I didn't know that. It could be true. I think we proved a couple weeks ago that one of these was false. Alex proved it wrong. Or something happened with it. But for those of you guys who are mosquito historians, let me know if that's true. Mosquito historians. What was that? There was another topic that I completely was not gonna talk about. Okay, I guess not. I swear there was something else after this, but okay. Have you guys seen the trailer for, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Artemis Fowl? If you guys have not seen the trailer, definitely go check it out, because Alex and I are gonna, just for a little bit, we're gonna talk about the trailer, because this one came out of like, I remember laying in bed at like 12 in the morning one night a couple days ago, and then I see like a notification, because I have the Walt Disney Pictures, I have the notifications on for them just in case, you know, maybe they drop like a teaser for the new Avengers movie on there. Probably not, but I had the notifications on, and I was up at like 12 in the morning, and I see a notification that says like Artemis Fowl teaser trailer, and it was like really like, wait, Disney released this trailer at like 12 in the morning. What in the world? So I think you guys should definitely go watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. I haven't read the book. Apparently it's supposed to be based off a book. I don't know if it's like a children's book or if it's like an adult like fiction. I don't really know.
No, it's more like a book for like 12-year-olds.
Oh, like the Hunger Games or something like that.
Kinda, yeah. My dad bought me Artemis Fowl when I was a kid, and the funny thing was I didn't get past the first chapter. I felt like the first chapter was entirely about how this person who was unnamed and without a face had like walked through the snow and found a metal wall. It was like really weird. It was like that was like the whole first chapter, and I was like, what? And as a kid, I'm like, I don't want to read this. So I never read it, but yeah.
I've never read it.
But actually,
either.
You know what's funny? Of all the movies that I do not even want to see that are coming out by Disney, this one actually seems intriguing.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
How come?
When I saw the teaser that you sent me a link for the teaser, and I saw the teaser and I was like, huh, this doesn't look half bad. So I don't know. I'll wait till they release more teasers and trailers, and then I'll decide if I'll go see it.
Interesting. I have the complete opposite reaction. I don't think this is gonna be a very good movie at all. I'm just scrolling through the teaser now. You guys can look at it if you on your own time. I don't want to get copyright claimed by Disney by showing it. But yeah, it just does not look very good to me. Again, I don't know like what the story is behind like what the book is about. So, you know, I could be completely misinterpreting it. Kenton says it's a good story though. So, and he also says it could be a good movie or it could be a great movie according to Kenton. But it's directed by Kenneth Branagh. Hamlet and Thor.
Kenneth Branagh.
Branagh, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh. These people in Hollywood have such strange last names, guys. I swear they only name their kids like that just so when I have to announce their names, they get like a laugh because they know I'll pronounce it wrong. But yeah, anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think of this trailer, just because I don't really know what the book is about. I don't even know if there's like sequels to the book or anything, if it's like the first book out of 3 or whatever. But I'd also like to know what the book is about. So if you guys would like to summarize, like very briefly summarize.
Kenton said it in the chat.
Oh, Artemis is a 12. Am I pronouncing that right? Artemis. Okay.
Yeah.
Is a 12-year-old criminal genius who steals from mythological creatures? What? I don't know. It could be good. That way it's not illegal. I don't know what that was referring to. But yeah, not sure. Okay, this is interesting. There is the trailer currently has 3 million views. There's 50,000 likes. But there's also 13,000 dislikes. So it's like a pretty sizable amount of dislikes compared to likes. Like you can see like the little dent that the dislikes have made. I'd like to see what the comments say really quick. Not quite sure how this one will roll as a Disney movie. Says Jellybean TV. Groovy Red Panda says, "Wow, this looks bad. I've read the series at least 3 times and I don't know if I want to see this." That was by Groovy Red Panda, by the way. Wolfful says, "Oh my gosh, nobody should be surprised by this. Disney film no longer knows how to make movies and hasn't for over a decade. Pixar and Marvel know how, but Walt Disney Studios hasn't made a great film in over a decade." Gosh, these guys are going hard on this. Every comment so far is just like saying how bad it looks. Movie looks like it should have been released a decade ago. Disney has an interesting method for creating movie adaptations. It goes like this. Step 1, burn the book. Step 2, create a generic plot with generic characters. Step 3, feed it to the masses. Step 4, profit because it's Disney. Jeez, these guys are not very fond of this trailer. And I thought I didn't like it. But anyways, it could be good. I don't really know, like I said, anything about the book or... I mean, yeah, it could be good just like all of the other movies Disney's going to be releasing, but I don't really see this one being a big blockbuster like Disney is probably hoping it to be. But yeah, anyways, moving on to our sort of main topic. We don't really have a main topic this week. Alex and I are going to go over our... What was it? How did I word it exactly? We are going to be going over... extinct or never built rides we would like to see. This doesn't necessarily mean rides that we would like to bring back, although I'm sure it would apply to like excuse me, although I'm sure it would apply to a lot of these for Alex and I, but just rides we'd like to, go into the past and visit and experience for the first time. But let's see, Alex is going to go first. Okay, yeah. So, Alex, why don't you take it away?
Okay. My first ride that, if I could go back in time, that I'd like to see would be Adventure Through Inner Space. So, for those of you who don't know, this was the ride that came before Star Tours. It opened with the New Tomorrowland in 1967. And, it was presented by Monsanto, which is the chemical, what do they call it? Like a laboratory company. They alter chemicals and do some genetic modification for plants and things like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back then they were known for doing amazing creative work with different elements and things like that. So it was like really cool. And so Adventure Through Inner Space was a way to get people excited about science. And so basically Adventure Through Inner Space was... Are you okay? I saw you like...
I was doing like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge thing where you like suck your lip like inside like a thing. It hurt really bad when I did that, so I'm not gonna do that again. Anyways,
You are the strangest person. Okay, so the cool thing about this ride was that basically the Doom buggies of the Haunted Mansion got their design from Adventure Through Inner Space. It came out 2 years before the Haunted Mansion even opened, and they had what are called atom mobiles. And it took you into the mighty microscope, shrunk you down to the size of an atom so you could explore the inner space found within a tiny fragment of a snowflake. And it was just so cool because as you kept shrinking, you had Paul Frees's voice. He was narrating his experience shrinking into the crystals of the snowflake and then getting smaller and smaller all the way till he gets to the size of an atom, and he can see the atoms, the electrons and all that spinning. So this was a really cool ride. Unfortunately, as the ride aged, it didn't really age very well, and it wasn't very well maintained toward the end, as well as the fact that it became known as kind of like a lover's lane kind of ride where, people would like kiss and grope and all sorts of stuff in the dark. So anyway, and in the end, when they were looking to put something more exciting in Tomorrowland and had the idea of Star Tours, they decided just to take out Adventure Through Inner Space altogether, because it was like the main ride in the land that could really use a complete redo from the ground up into something brand new. So, anywho, Mateo, that is inappropriate. Anyway, so yes, that is the first ride I would love to see. I would love to see it. And it sounds so crazy, but I myself am really interested in science. And a ride like this could get you so interested in molecules and chemicals and stuff like that. And so it's just really neat. And I was even telling Matt the other day that I thought it'd be cool if they could bring it back. Like maybe if they brought it back as an Omni Mover, but like what if it was like interactive where you could you could use like a laser or something and help stop a chemical reaction from happening by destroying molecules and things like that as you shrink down. And I thought it'd be kind of cool. They could reuse some of the Paul Frees original soundtrack, as well as mix in a little bit of Corey Burton's version of Paul Frees's voice and stuff like that. And it would be more modern for today because it would be interactive, where you would literally be shooting at molecules and atoms and things like that in an effort to prevent a massive chemical reaction from happening. So I just thought it'd be kind of really cool. So, oh my gosh, saliva just went down the wrong tube.
Well, Alex is doing that. This is also at the top of my list. That's why I made a video on it, of course. A really old video, kind of cringy if you look back at all my older videos. But I remember the comments of that video they're older people talking about how, I guess confirming what Alex said about it being sort of like a lover's lane thing, and that's kind of weird. I don't think I really knew about that before I made the video. Then I started getting all these comments about it, and I was really confused. But then someone informed me. But yeah, T-Wall, that's actually what Alex was saying earlier. A retheme of a Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, kind of. How he said with shooting the lasers and all that stuff. I feel like it'd be interesting to bring this ride back, but not have it be themed to molecules. I feel like it'd be interesting if they sort of did the opposite of shrinking down. What if they went exploring space? and
But then that would be adventure through outer space.
Exactly. It'd be a completely different take on the ride. And I really feel like I was not a biggest fan of chemistry and like atoms and molecules. I was really bad at like adding like electrons. I don't even remember anything from high school chemistry. But I feel like now, since I don't know if you guys saw, but like NASA released like a teaser trailer that they're going back to the moon, and that beyond the moon after that. I feel like maybe they could like tie it in somehow with that, because honey, I blew up the audience. But yeah, since space is sort of like more modern, I guess, with like SpaceX and all that stuff, I feel like it'd be really interesting to see like exploring like a star, or like inside a star, I don't know, or like going to other planets or something like that. But of course, like an Omnimover ride, and maybe you could like shoot at aliens on the way just to get the kids interested in it. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that'd be a neat way. And we've also talked about in the past of bringing this back with Ant-Man, because of course Ant-Man shrinks down into like the quantum realm or whatever. So he'd be like the perfect, if they wanted to like bring this back with an IP, he'd be like the perfect candidate to bring this ride back. And I want to point out before we continue, I love this piece of concept art of the attraction. It's really beautiful to look at. But let's see, there is one other thing. Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like it's really interesting. When did this ride come out? It came out in
1967.
67. Okay, so we're getting almost kind of to that point where the people who experience the ride are, getting older and like are, I don't want to say dying, gosh, but you guys know what I mean.
That is so insulting.
I know. I couldn't find another way to phrase it. You guys know what I mean.
Sorry, you older Disney fans are dying, but we want something different.
Oh my goodness. But I was gonna say, it's sort of interesting that now this generation has like a fascination, or at least like our group of Disney people who are interested in the history of Disney. They're interested in like this kind of retro attraction that existed back then. So I feel like it'll be really sad when people who originally experienced the ride are no longer alive, and then I wonder if people will eventually forget about this attraction. I guess not just this one, but all of the other past attractions from that era. They probably won't forget about it, just because the Tomorrowland revamp that brought this one was such an iconic thing. But it's sort of interesting to think that in maybe like 20 or I don't know, like 40 years, people will start to forget about all these older attractions, and they'll be nostalgic about like the ones from, I don't know, from the 2000s or from like the 1990s. I don't know. I explained that terribly. It's interesting to think about if I explained it correctly. But anyways, let's see. I have one that I was sent to by a friend. I had no idea this existed until my friend Brittany sent this to me. Glacier Bay in Hong Kong Disneyland. I'm gonna have a link in the description that better explains what Glacier Bay is, because I barely found out about this just a couple days ago. I'm gonna scroll through the concept art here real quick. You can see from these two pieces of concept art, this looks pretty rad, right? Yeah, Avery says it looks cool. I agree, Avery. I'm gonna quote from this article. This was Glacier Bay, located possibly where Toy Story Land is now. According to the Favili website, I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Favili Studio, develop the story. It's just so okay. They develop the story, planning and designs for this phase 2 expansion of Hong Kong Disneyland, an Arctic outpost filled with an array of cold weather activities. Guests can jet ski through an iceberg-filled glacier lake, grab a sled and slide down a massive snow hill, and ride an icy roller coaster deep into the interior, massive ice cavern of Glacier Peak. A research base for studying glacier formations and life forms where they are treated to a variety of interactive games and show experiences. So yeah, this is Glacier Bay. Pretty interesting, judging by the concept art and these 2 images I showed you. Other than that, I don't really know too much about it. The pictures look really cool, but yeah, I feel like this would have made a great addition to any Disney park. Maybe not just Hong Kong. I feel like it'd be great. Maybe in Disneyland. Maybe I don't know, or in Disneyland Paris. This does sort of seem, or at least to me, it looks like Discovery Bay. So I feel like maybe there is some correlation between that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So this is one of the ones that I picked for lands or attractions that have not materialized. Alex, do you have anything you'd like to say about Glacier Bay?
It seems interesting. I'll have to research it to know more about it, but it seems interesting.
Yeah, that's really all we have to say. It seems interesting. We don't know a lot about it just because I barely found out about it a couple days ago. But if you guys in the comments or in the chat would like to read more into this, because I'm sure it looks amazing. It does look kind of small now that you guys pointed out. It does. I'm not sure if this is like the whole overview of like the entire land, but for some reason this reminds me of Club Penguin when they mentioned the sled racing. That reminds me of Club Penguin. But yeah, so that was Glacier Bay. Now, moving on to Alex's number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 would be Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. And like I said, this doesn't necessarily mean I want it to come back, but I personally would love to time travel and ride this ride because I am a really big fan of the outdoors, of nature, stuff like that. I've been to like a dozen different national parks across the west side of the country. And I plan to go on to more national parks in the future. But I just love nature. And so I thought Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland was a great way to experience nature without having to go too far.
Mm-hmm.
And the scenery and stuff like that, and then the animatronics, and then just like the mastery of it all. It's just so beautiful and so fun, I think. And the fact that, you get to like go into the painted desert and then see like the geysers and the mud pots and things like that. Just a really cool ride. And then you end the whole thing with a ride through the Rainbow Caverns. You get to see all sorts of waterfalls and things. And once again, my favorite thing about this ride, and even about Thunder Mountain, are the coyotes. I think coyotes are really cool. And so I don't know why. I think like they're one of my favorite animals next to giraffes. I don't know why I like coyotes, but especially their howl. So like in Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland, they have this scene where you're surrounded by coyotes and they're howling and stuff like that. And then the cool thing was when they built Thunder Mountain, they moved like a lot of the animals to Thunder Mountain, including the coyotes, and kept the original soundtrack that they used for the coyotes. So anyway, yeah. So this is definitely a ride I would love to go back in time and then ride it. And if it ever made its way back into Disneyland, that'd be kind of cool too. Of course, I don't think people have an appreciation for nature as much as they do for Avengers.
Oh, yeah. That's sad but true. Even though I fall under even though I fall under what you just said.
I was talking about you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of nature per se. I just don't like bugs, really. That sounds really like pretentious to say. I don't like bugs. I don't like mosquitoes, but I'll spend a couple days, in the woods with my family camping. That's fun. And this ride looks fun too. Even though most people might sleep on it nowadays. I might sleep on it too. I don't know. It's probably really relaxing. Probably really relaxing place to sleep on. But yeah, I would definitely pick this as well if we had a time machine to go back in time to experience it. Just because there's not a lot of video footage, good quality video footage of this ride. And I feel like going back in time to experience it would be a really amazing opportunity. But you wrote a song about Bugs Land. That doesn't count. Those are different bugs. But yeah, I would definitely go back in time and also, revisit this because it does seem like an amazing ride. Yeah, I mainly just go back just to film it, and then when I come back to our time, I'd upload it and then get, millions of views. Just kidding. But I mean, that would be cool. But anyways, Alex is going to hate my second pick. My second pick is not technically a ride. Well, it's technically a ride that still exists, just not in Disneyland. I would bring back, or what was even the topic? We're not bringing them back. We're just extinct rides we'd like to see. I'd like to experience the original Country Bear Jamboree in Disneyland. I guess this sort of contradicts what I just said about nature, because the bears live in the wilderness, of course. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really, my deepest pit of my heart, I love the Country Bear Jamboree almost as much as I love Snapple, you guys. I don't say that lightly. The Country Bear Jamboree is one of my favorite rides that I've ever been on in Walt Disney World, of course. I might have gone on this when I was a kid in Disneyland. I don't know. But all I do know is that I would 100% bring back the original Country Bear Jamboree in Disneyland. I feel like we've said this before, or at least I've said this before. I'm not a fan of the Winnie the Pooh attraction that replaced it. I feel like it doesn't belong in Critter Country, and it's sort of cheap looking. What else have I used to describe it? Cheap, doesn't belong in Critter Country. You guys get the idea. But yeah, I love the Country Bear Jamboree, guys. The soundtrack is one of the greatest things I've ever listened to. And yeah, that's all I have to say on the Country Bear Jamboree. Alex.
See, now I don't agree. See, like I never liked the Country Bear Jamboree. I thought it was so boring. I thought the music was so well, for one thing, I don't like country music. For another thing, I especially don't like hillbilly music. And so this attraction was just I couldn't stand it. I mean, it was cool. The animatronics were cool. I'll give them that. Mark Davis' design was really great, and he put a lot of whimsy to their appearance. But other than that, I thought this ride was just odd, just capital letters odd. And
yeah,
didn't really feel like a Disney attraction to me. But it became a Disneyland classic, which I can't argue with that. I mean, but yeah, when they closed this attraction, I was still a little kid, but I was just glad I didn't have to sit through it anymore. And then what was really funny was when I was a teenager, we went to Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, and I didn't know they had a Country Bear Jamboree there. And my dad goes, "Oh my God, look, Alex, it's a Country Bear Jamboree." And I'm like, "Oh no!" And my dad's like, "We gotta go see it. Oh my gosh, I used to take you to see this show all the time." And I'm like, "I know, Dad." And so I had to sit through the whole thing again. Thankfully, their show is a bit shorter than the original, but still, it was just like, Anyway.
It's weird. I don't like country music or like, hillbilly music either. Like I guess you could say I hate country music. Just like every song I've heard is just terrible. No offense to all you country music lovers out there. I really
no offense, but your music sucks.
I mean, yeah, but I really do have a lot of appreciation for you guys who are able to actually listen to it and enjoy it. So big props to you guys. But yeah, I don't like country music, but I love the Country Bear Jamboree. I don't know, it's weird. T-Well says, I hate country music, but I love the show. Big Al always cracks me up. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I've never been a fan of country music, but this ride is just, that sounds like an insult. I mean, it could be taken as an insult, but I'm not trying to, like, insult country music loving people. It's just, I don't like country music, but yeah, so yeah, it's kind of weird. Not really a fan of it, but I love the Country Bear Jamboree. People in chat are agreeing, so that makes me happy. But anyways, let's see. We have one more for Alex.
Yes. So, in keeping with our little theme of not just extinct attractions, but things that were never built, I would have loved to see Edison Square. Edison Square was an idea that for a land, kind of like a land that predates New Orleans Square, and it would be located on the eastern side of Main Street, right where the guest overflow corridors are right now. And Edison Square was kind of described as like a little cul-de-sac, but in a small American town from the turn of the, not the turn of the, no, it's before that. It's I don't know. It was around the time that electricity started making its way into people's houses, which I'm pretty sure was around the turn of the 1900s. So anyway, what was really cool about this is, just like New Orleans Square, all the buildings would have been really tiny and cramped together, and it would have looked really cool. It would have been a little neighborhood, and it would have complemented Main Street USA, actually, because Edison Square technically represents like a New England area of America. And so it would have complemented Main Street USA, but still been separate from it. And one last thing about Edison Square was it would have had an audio animatronic show, which actually even predates the invention of audio animatronics. The first audio animatronic show was the Enchanted Tiki Room, which came out in 1963. Edison Square was planned in like 1958. So this show would have been the world's first audio animatronic show. And the show, what it was about, was, well, actually, the idea for the show predates Carousel of Progress in the sense that it talks about how electricity has impacted people's lives, when in terms of modern conveniences and light and things like that. And so there's a segment of the Carousel of Progress that was actually inspired by the show that they had planned for Edison Square, like 5 years earlier. So anyway, so yeah, it's just a really cool thing. I think it would have been this cute little mini land. It would have looked really great. would have been perfect for Main Street. And while it was a dead-end cul-de-sac, I think eventually it was going to interconnect with Liberty Street, which was supposed to go just past Edison Square. So there's supposed to be Edison Square and Liberty Street. And I think when they had built both of them, they would have interconnected through like a hallway, like an indoor, what do they call that? Like a breezeway? Yeah, they call it a breezeway. And so so I said Edison Square only because while Liberty Street would have been really cool, they eventually built a Liberty Square in Magic Kingdom Park. So that kind of came into reality, but Edison Square never quite made it there. But I also wanted to mention one more, even though I didn't tell Matt yet what it was. So after, so I think it was 1960. The year was 1960, and ideas for Edison Square and Liberty Street were being scrapped. They were going to give up on the project, but Walt still wanted something along the lines of an Edison Square or Liberty Street. But then Imagineers came up with a new idea, and it was called International Street. And International Street is another attraction / land that never got built that I would have loved to see. And International Street was actually an island located just north of where Matterhorn is today. And basically, if you know where Fantasia Gardens is, with the little pier that goes over the water in Fantasyland, the monorail runs over it. That is approximately where International Street would have been located, and it would have been an island that you accessed through 3 different bridges, and it would have been filled with tiny little streets with little miniature scale buildings, just like New Orleans Square, just really packed tight together. And there would have been varying architecture because of the fact that it's international. So it's different architectural styles from across the world, and all mashed into one little island, as if the whole world came together to represent themselves on this island. And so there would have been like a walkthrough museum of some kind as part of an attraction. But other than that, it would have been really neat. And I've been talking a lot. So yeah, International Street was, I think there's 2 versions of International Street, actually. There was the version that was going to replace Edison Square and Liberty Street, and it was going to parallel Main Street. But then later on, when they decided that area shouldn't or couldn't be developed, they moved it to the idea of an island just north of where Matterhorn was. So anyway, you could Google like International Island Disneyland, but you probably only find one picture, if any. You might not find it, but I have a book. Just trust me, everybody. Just trust me when I say this. I have a book that literally shows a image drawn by, I think it was Sam McKim, of an island, and it shows Fantasyland to the left, it shows Autopia to the right, and it's an island surrounded by water, and it was labeled International Street. So yeah, or International Isle. I'm sorry, International Isle, because they took International Street, turned it into an island. So anyway, I'm done talking about this part.
Okay, well, I don't know how to spell Isle. Isle? Whatever.
Mateo says it's International Land.
International Land? Okay, well, we'll maybe we'll find an image and oh, my Google just went off. Stop. Maybe we'll find an image later at some point. But I did not know that that was a thing. You're gonna have to show me at one point, in the book that you're referencing, because I'd be really interested to see that. But anyways,
I can show you tomorrow.
yes, perfect. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up today's topics. Let's see. People were talking. I guess I should make an honorable mention just because Alex did, and since I didn't pick a third, people were talking about Westcott. I didn't want to pick things like like Westcott or like what was that one that Mark Davis did, the Western River Expedition, or the like the People Mover, because those are such obvious answers. But I guess if I had to pick another, it'd be the Mark Davis one. What is it called? I always forget the name. The Western River Expedition. Just because I don't think Westcott would have been as good as people have been saying, and the people are saying the same thing in chat. I don't think Westcott would have been as great as people have made it out to be, because it was essentially just like a clone of Epcot. And look at where Epcot is now. It's undergoing a $2 billion expansion just to make it more relevant with today's guests. That same thing probably would have happened with Westcott, even though it's not technically an Epcot clone. But we all know it's like a clone of Epcot. But yeah, anyways, I think... Is that it? I think that's it for today's show. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Be sure to stay tuned next week on Friday, like I said. I think we're going to be having that stream on my main channel. I'll set up a reminder, or one of the timer things. I'll set it up tonight on my main channel, so the people who don't normally watch the podcast, they can go to my channel and see that we have a live stream that day. Of course, be sure to follow my Twitter and be on the Discord for any updates on the live stream or on the meetup or anything. Yeah, it's coming close, so I'm man, I figured you guys would find this funny. I packed so much stuff in my suitcase. I ended up packing oh gosh, how big is it? It's probably like this big, a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal to bring with me so I could eat it for breakfast throughout the days that I'm going to be there. And
just so you guys know, I offered to buy him a new box if he would just leave that at home, and he blatantly refused.
I mean, I already have it here, and it's not opened yet. And I found a room in my suitcase to fit it, so I figured, why not bring it? Yeah, figured you guys would get a laugh, a kick out of that. I'm very proud of the way I organized everything. Chris says it's going to be all crushed. It could possibly be crushed. I'll still eat it. I mean, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is, one of the best cereals ever made, in like modern American history. So I'll still eat it because I love it so much. But yeah, I'll take like a before and after picture of the box of Cinnamon Toast crushed. Thank you, Mateo. Yeah, I'll take a before and after picture of the box, and I'll update you guys on the Discord of whether or not it survived. Cinnamon Toast crushed. That's a good one. Thank you. But yeah, very excited to see all of you guys who end up coming to the meetup, or just whoever ends up coming to Disneyland and who decides to, come say hi to me this next week. Yeah, it'll be the first time I'm traveling alone, so that's gonna be very interesting. I love flying.
Scary.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm sort of like freaking out. Not like freaking out, but like a small freaking out. Yeah, very. I guess I don't have anything else to say. Very excited. Chris asks, is LMG gonna be there? yeah, LMG videos will be at the meetup with Alex and I, and he will, like I said, also be in the podcast we're going to be recording on Friday. So, yeah, I should probably stop blabbering on. I got to get this uploaded. Yeah, I got to get the show uploaded right away. T-Will asks if I've never flown alone. I've never flown alone before. This will be the first time. But, yeah, thank you all for coming out to this week's episode of Matterhorn Mondays. Like I said, stay tuned for Friday for the live stream, and the next Monday for the actual edited podcast. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming out, and that's going to wrap up this episode of Matterhorn Mondays. We hope you all have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.